Hello, welcome to the weekly highlights program on Azərbaycan Television with the major developments of the week. I'm your host İlham Məmmədov. Now first, let's take a brief look at some of the top stories of this week. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan İlham Əliyev and President of the United Arab Emirates Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan observed the joint operational tactical exercise Peace Shield 2026, conducted with the participation of servicemen from the armed forces of both countries in Abu Dhabi. The awarding ceremony of the Zayed Award for Human Fraternity was held in Abu Dhabi, the capital of the United Arab Emirates. President İlham Əliyev attended the event. President İlham Əliyev arrived in the United Arab Emirates on a working visit on February 2nd. A guard of honor was lined up at Abu Dhabi Zayed International Airport in honor of the head of state. President İlham Əliyev was welcomed by President of the United Arab Emirates, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. President İlham Əliyev held a meeting with President of the United Arab Emirates, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. During the conversation, they emphasized that Azerbaijan-UAE bilateral relations are based on a strategic partnership. The parties hailed the development of cooperation between the two countries in all areas, including political, economic, energy, including renewable energy, cultural, humanitarian, and other fields. The leaders highlighted the importance of reciprocal visits and meetings between the two presidents, expanding relations. The meeting touched on the significance of the Peace Shield 2026 joint operational tactical exercise in Abu Dhabi between the armed forces of Azerbaijan and the United Arab Emirates. They expressed confidence that such exercises contribute to the development of operational military interoperability between the two countries' armed forces and underscored the importance of continuing them in the future. The heads of state exchanged views on the prospects of relations and future contacts. In the presence of the two presidents, a document was signed concerning the sale of a portion of the non-controlling stake held by Azerbaijan's Ministry of Economy in Southern Gas Corridor Closed Joint Stock Company to XRG, the international investment arm of the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company. Within the framework of the visit, a letter of intent on defense cooperation was also signed between the Ministry of Defense of the Republic of Azerbaijan and the Ministry of Defense of the United Arab Emirates. The presidents of Azerbaijan and the UAE expressed confidence that these agreements will provide further impetus to the development of relations between the two countries. The conversation also touched on the possibility of establishing twinning relations between Baku and Abu Dhabi. On February 3rd, President İlham Əliyev held a meeting with Mohammed Abdel Salam, Secretary General of the Muslim Council of Elders in Abu Dhabi.
Mohammed Abdel Salam fondly recalled his visits to Azerbaijan and meetings with the Azerbaijani president, who once again congratulated President İlham Əliyev on receiving the Zayed Award for Human Fraternity. Expressing his gratitude for the congratulations and the high award, President İlham Əliyev praised the efforts of the Zayed Foundation, especially the essential role it plays in promoting the humanitarian legacy and human values of Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, the founder of the United Arab Emirates across the globe. President İlham Əliyev's receipt of this award was also assessed as a reflection of the high regard expressed by Pope Leo XIV and the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar, Sheikh Ahmed Al-Tayyib, for the president's efforts toward establishing peace.
President of the Republic of Azerbaijan İlham Əliyev and President of the United Arab Emirates Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan observed the joint operational tactical exercise Peace Shield 2026, conducted with the participation of servicemen from the armed forces of both countries in Abu Dhabi.
The exercise, conducted in urban, mountainous and maritime environments, involved tasks such as detecting and neutralizing illegal armed groups, restoring control over a seized vessel, neutralizing terrorist elements and releasing hostages, evacuating the wounded, preventing riots and sabotage-type activities threatening public security, and conducting firefighting operations. The main goal of the exercise is to enhance the professional skills of military personnel and counter-terrorism operations, contribute to lasting peace and facilitate the exchange of experience between the armed forces of Azerbaijan and the United Arab Emirates.
On February 4th, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, met with Prime Minister of the Republic of Armenia, Nikol Pashinyan, in Abu Dhabi, the United Arab Emirates.
The sides welcomed the progress achieved in the implementation of the outcomes of the Washington Peace Summit hosted and witnessed by the President of the United States, Donald Trump. They noted the importance of maintaining the positive momentum and advancing the normalization process between Armenia and Azerbaijan on a bilateral basis. The sides acknowledged that both societies are witnessing real benefits of peace on the ground. They expressed satisfaction with the start of bilateral trade and ongoing export of oil products from Azerbaijan to Armenia, as well as the transit of grain and other goods from third countries to Armenia through the territory of Azerbaijan. The sides agreed to further explore opportunities to expand bilateral trade and economic cooperation. They also welcomed reciprocal visits by civil society representatives and concurred on the need to broaden confidence-building measures. President Ilham Aliyev and Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan discussed the implementation of TRIP and other connectivity projects. The President of Azerbaijan and the Prime Minister of Armenia reaffirmed their readiness to continue working toward the further strengthening of peace and stability between their countries and agreed to maintain contacts in support of the bilateral normalization process.
The awarding ceremony of the Zayed Award for Human Fraternity was held in Abu Dhabi, the capital of the United Arab Emirates. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, attended the event. The ceremony began with the playing of the national anthem of the United Arab Emirates. A video dedicated to the Zayed Award for Human Fraternity was screened.
من واجبنا أن نعمل المستحيل ونعمل الغريب ونحدث الأشياء التي تفرح الإنسان.
Mohammed Abdul Salam, Secretary General of the Muslim Council of Elders, then delivered an address.
What makes the honorees of the Zayed
عظيما لنستكشف الخير الذي يتواجد في كل مكان من هذه البقاع حول العالم.
La force de rayonnement de personnes ordinaires.
باختيار النماذج التي تستحق التكريم. هذه النماذج يجب أن تكون قدوة للشباب أو للناس سواء في الغرب أو في الشرق.
Congratulatory video messages to the laureates of the Zayed Award for Human Fraternity were presented by President of the Republic of Turkey, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, President of the Republic of Kazakhstan, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, President of the Republic of Uzbekistan, Shavkat Mirziyoyev, Prime Minister of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, Muhammad Shehbaz Sharif, President of the Kyrgyz Republic, Sadr Japarov, President of the Republic of Lebanon, Joseph Aoun, First Lady of Turkey, Emine Erdogan, and King Abdullah II of the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. President Ilham Aliyev delivered a speech at the ceremony.
We need to agree who will be speaking first. Your Highness, Mr. President of United Arab Emirates, my dear brother, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, members of the judging committee, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to express my gratitude to the judging committee for this award. It's a great honor for me to receive an award which bears the name of the founder of UAE, late Sheikh Zayed, the great leader whose vision and actions transformed UAE into one of the most prosperous and successful countries of the world. My dear brother Sheikh Mohammed continues the policy of his father in development, in progress, in continued modernization. Today, UAE is really an example for many countries how to transform the country, how to build a society which lives in peace, in harmony, which is deeply connected to its historical roots, but at the same time looks to the future. I'd like to express gratitude to His Eminence, Grand Imam of Al-Azhar, Dr. Ahmed Al-Tayeb, and His Holiness Pope Leo for their contribution to the interreligious dialogue and their efforts to bring civilizations close to each other. I also express gratitude to all the colleagues who addressed their kind messages to the ceremony, once again underlining the importance of peace between Azerbaijan and Armenia, not only for our two countries, but for broader region. We were at war for more than 30 years. Now we live in peace for 6 months. As I said many times, we are learning to live in peace. I can tell you it's a special feeling. We never lived in peace since we became independent, and we are learning fast. So last 6 months since the historical summit in Washington, hosted by US President Donald Trump, was the months of partnership, cooperation, and movement towards long-lasting and eternal peace. I'd like also to express gratitude to President of the United States, Donald Trump, for his contribution to peace between Azerbaijan and Armenia. He hosted a trilateral summit on 8 August 2025, which resulted in initialing of peace agreement between Armenia and Azerbaijan and signing the joint declaration. And President Trump also signed it as a witness, thus putting an end to a long-lasting, 3-decade-plus, bloody, deadly conflict. These 6 months, as I said, were very important for development of our relations. We not only lifted the restrictions on cargo transportation through Azerbaijan to Armenia, but also started to export oil products to Armenia. In other words, in these 6 months, we started cooperation. We are now increasing our trade relationship. And this morning I met my Armenian colleague and we discussed how to move forward. And definitely today's award ceremony, an appreciation of our efforts by this distinguished judging committee and all our friends is very encouraging. I think that our example should be learned and taken as a roadmap for those who are still at war. Our example demonstrates that peace is possible despite long-lasting conflict, despite sufferings, and despite mutual untrust. Peace is possible when there is a strong political will from both sides, and when this process is supported by friendly countries and by the international community. And my last point about this award ceremony here in Abu Dhabi, I think it is symbolic because the last round of negotiations between Armenia and Azerbaijan took place here last July, just a month before historical summit in Washington. So here in Abu Dhabi, with the support of our brother Sheikh Mohammed, we came to a final agreement to establish peace and then formalized it in Washington. So this symbolism today is in the air. And once again, I'd like to express gratitude to all those who made a decision to award us with this distinguished and prestigious award, and to all those who helped us to reach peace. Thank you very much.
This was followed by an address from Prime Minister of Armenia Nikol Pashinyan, saying that he could not imagine that such a prestigious award would be granted to the leaders of Azerbaijan and Armenia. He added that this very award once more time served as a testimony to the fact that the conflict was a remnant of the past. He assessed this award as an act of support rendered by the international community to both countries. Prime Minister Pashinyan added that this decision by the prominent members of the jury will further contribute to the strengthening of peace in the region. He noted that the efforts would continue to secure tranquility between the two people. Prime Minister Pashinyan once more time expresses gratitude to the U.S. President Donald Trump for his contribution to the peace agreement and for sparing no efforts in this direction. He also thanked President of the United Arab Emirates for this award and expressed his gratitude to the participants of the event. Zarga Yaftali, Afghan women's rights activist and researcher, and another laureate of the Zayed Award for Human Fraternity, also spoke at the event. Nabil Gaddoumi addressed the ceremony on behalf of the Palestinian organization Ta'awun. President of the United Arab Emirates Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan subsequently presented the Zayed Award for Human Fraternity to the laureates. President Ilham Aliyev concluded his working visit to the United Arab Emirates on February 5th. A guard of honor was lined up for the President of Azerbaijan at Zayed International Airport in Abu Dhabi. President Ilham Aliyev was seen off by Sheikh Hamad bin Zayed Al Nahyan, member of the Abu Dhabi Executive Council and Managing Director of the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, along with other officials. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, received a delegation of the Islamic Republic of Iran, led by Minister of Defense and Armed Forces Logistics, Aziz Nasirzadeh, on February 6.
The head of state recalled his recent telephone conversation with President of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Masoud Pezeshkian, noting that high-level contacts in various formats provide excellent opportunities to discuss issues on the bilateral agenda. Highlighting that President Masoud Pezeshkian's official visit to Azerbaijan last year was successful and yielded positive results, President Ilham Aliyev stated that relations have developed further since that visit. The head of state emphasized that wars and conflicts continue in many parts of the world today, but thanks to Azerbaijan's initiative, peace has already been established in the South Caucasus. He expressed confidence that this holds great importance for Iran, which borders both Azerbaijan and Armenia. We want peace throughout the world, no bloodshed, no wars, President Ilham Aliyev said, underscoring that Azerbaijan exemplifies a successful transition from war to peace. As he mentioned in his phone call with the Iranian president, the head of state noted that Azerbaijan is concerned about the current situation in the region and stands ready to provide its support to de-escalate the tensions. Expressing gratitude for the reception, Aziz Nasirzadeh first conveyed greetings from President of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Masoud Pezeshkian, to the head of state. He said he had come on the instructions of Iran's head of state and highlighted that President Masoud Pezeshkian holds great affection for Azerbaijan. He also noted that the Iranian president fondly recalls his visits to Azerbaijan, including to Khankendi. President Ilham Aliyev thanked him for the greetings and asked that his own greetings be conveyed to the head of the Iranian state. During the conversation, they noted the development of bilateral relations based on principles of friendship, brotherhood, and good neighborliness between the two countries and exchanged views on prospects for defense cooperation.
That was all for the week. Thank you for watching us and stay tuned not to miss the next edition of our program.
Təyyarədə gecikmə var. Biraz yubanacağım.
Siz AzTV xəbərə baxırsınız. İndi AzTV-nin mobil tətbiqi ilə ən son xəbərləri istənilən yerdə, istənilən an izləyə bilərsiniz.
Azərbaycan Radyosu 105 FM.
Ulduzlar yatar, bircə baxışla günü oyadar. Gəl baxışınla baharı qaytar, quşlar qayıtsın, qoy qatar qatar.
Hazırdır.
Deməli hələ baxmağa vaxtımız var.
Azərbaycan Qranprisi start verildi. Olsun da buradan 2 Williams'ı görürük. Davamı necə gələcək?
Təəssüf edirəm xanım, gecikmisiniz. Konsert artıq başlayıb.
Artıq AzTV-nin yeni mobil tətbiqi ilə bizi istədiyiniz yerdə canlı izləyə biləcəksiniz. AzTV, İdman TV, Mədəniyyət TV, Azərbaycan Radiosu və Beynəlxalq Radio. Hamısı bir tətbiqdə, bir toxunuş uzaqlığında. Bunun üçün mobil cihazlarınızda Android üçün Play Market, iOS üçün App Store-dan AzTV mobil tətbiqini yükləyin.